I went to battle in Athens. I spilled the blood of Olympus, stepped through the ashes of castles and torn asunder my critics. He said, they'll read me on a hieroglyphics with King Tut as my witness. Oh my God. Dog, that is the most fierce set of bars in this entire song. Welcome back to another episode of Goat-Worthy Reactions, where we mainly like to focus on the goats on this channel. And today, we're dealing with two independent goats on the scene right now. Shout out to Chris Webby and our boy Ren the Unicorn. You already know. Now listen, today we have Instigator. Now Instigator is off the Impatient album that they've been working on together. They've been dropping, well, they'll be dropping songs every other Wednesday is what I'm told. Yesterday they dropped this 10 minutes before I had to go to work. Shout out to them. That kind of pissed me off. But here we are today. We're going to be doing case study reactions. Hopefully, if it doesn't call for a case study, it won't be a case study, but it might be if they get deep into it. One of the other creator reactors told me that it's a deep one. You're gonna want to sit with this one. So I said, okay. So I guess it's gonna be a case study reaction. We're not gonna be dancing too much, but let's get it, man. Let's not waste no more time. Ren, Chris Webby off the Impatient album, Instigator. Classic Ren with the beatboxing. And he layered the hell out of it too.
Sell $1 for a dime.
Hold on. Okay, so we got the boxing gloves right there in the corner. The angle kind of looks like Murderer when he's coming down the steps and stuff like that. I wonder if this is going to be like a one-take video too. But yeah, okay. That could be a nod. I don't know if the boxing gloves were in other videos. I'm not 100% sure, but Murderer, which is one of my favorite Ren songs, I did a remix called Savior. Y'all might want to check out that retake. I might plug it in the comment section. Y'all make sure y'all take a listen.
For heaven's sake, son, he carried a stake for us. Savior, you should see the way that he gets down. Get back. Savior, blessing everybody in your town. Watch out. Savior, demons better run, here he comes now. Savior, reveal yourself. I was born faithless, plotting in the shadows with the faceless. Brother, ask your rabbi what my name is.
But anyways, yeah, okay. Just I don't know, nostalgia a little bit on earlier Ren when I first started reacting to him.
Sell $1 for a dime. Watch the world collapse out. Driving across that county line. Once I do, I won't look back. Daylight knocking at my door. Step into the sun in times of peace. I'll go to war. Instigator.
Hey, that was fire. I like that. So I hope that's the chorus. But Instigator, a little softer, a little smoother than Murderer. But I don't know. It just kind of reminds me of each other. But y'all hear that freaking that reggae bounce that's going on right now? I got the Bob Marley in the back. It's so appropriate.
Instigator. Steady with it, like machete with it, heavy with it, shred and kill it.
But wait a minute, I already did it.
Webby did it. Welcome to the clinic, I'm a surgeon cutting lyrics and raising spirits in this motherfucker. Step to the rhythm, shovel, treble and bass. This culture is a breeding ground for my mistakes. I pray for a better way to waste my time. Don't wait until tomorrow when I take what's mine. Cold and calculated, that's the instigator. Not intimidated, I'm a force of nature. Fate dictates the place where the penny will drop. Heads roll, calm and let the guillotine chop.
Let the guillotine.
Watch the world collapse out. Driving across that county line. Once I do, I won't look back. Daylight knocking at my door. Step into the sun. Times of peace, I'll go to war.
That's fire. Oh, look at Pig Face again. Yeah, this is hella. Was that with Murderer with the pig face? Yeah, he threw him in the back of the BMW. Okay, yeah. But anyways, I think he might just be shouting out a lot of his videos, to be honest with you. And those videos that I react to almost over a year ago. Like I don't even remember exactly, but this is dope, man. This is dope. Dope verse, first of all. very layered verse. First of all, even the throughout that verse, he had another beatbox breakdown. I thought that was dope. That was very layered as well. But sell $1 for a dime and watch the world collapse. I'm driving across the county line, and once I do, I won't look back. Daylight knocking at my door, stare into the sun. In times of peace, I'll go to war. Instigator. Oh my God, that is so fire right there. So the hook is deceptively simple, but conceptually very dense. Because sell $1 for a dime. This isn't incompetence. This is like rejection of the prevailing value system, right? This is like the labels and stuff like that. In the context of the music industry is really what they're talking about. So he's mirroring the exploitive contracts, right? But at the same time, you surrender your dollar, which is like your ownership, your music, your art, your pride, your whole reputation. In industry standards, you're going to receive a dime in return, which is a bad trade, right? You get the raw end of the deal. You give so much and you get a little bit back. County lines, I feel like that extends that metaphor of just the drug, narcotics, pushing drugs across county lines, getting on the Greyhound and going to go distribute the work. And the work in this case is their music. Their product is the music. Now, I've heard this analogy by a lot of rappers before, but I just like the way he's painting it because he's not being so obvious about it. He's not trying to say this is about drugs. He's not trying to say this is about music. He's leaving it open for interpretation. I think that's one of the best characteristics when it comes to Ren and music, how open he leaves it. And that's why we always debate, right? I might take a spiritual approach. Someone else might take more of an analogy. I might take it literal. Someone else might take it metaphorical. It is interesting. And I think sometimes we're all right and we're all not wrong, a lot of the times. Anyways, I got the lyrics pulled though. So daylight knocking at my door, staring to the sun. In times of peace, I go to war. I really like this. So I feel like his art, right, his product, right, he's positioning it as contraband, obviously. So he's bypassing the gatekeepers is what he's saying. He's bypassing the gatekeepers. He's moving through unofficial channels, and it's gaining traction through just uninstitutional approvals, right? They're not waiting for them to give them the go by. And in times of peace, I go to war. I like this part specifically because of how it comes across and how I really feel like he's trying to say, like, to me, it's not villainous. Like if you say in times of peace, I go to war, that sounds like someone who's going to disrupt peace and like cause more problems. But that's not who the instigator represents in this time, because even though the word instigator has like somewhat of a negative connotation to it, we use it in negative situations, but the word itself is not a negative word. It's just a word you can use most of the time on negative aspects of character. But think about it. In this instance, it's more like of a conviction. So it's the assertion that when systems appear to be stable, right, or appear to be, in order because they are controlling it and you are obeying, you have a master and you have a slave and they're obeying. That might sound peaceful because the slave is obeying the master, but that's not what real peace is, and that's what they're trying to speak about. So basically, in other words, a lot of the times for things to change or for it to be a shift based on principle, there has to be a disruption. So he has to instigate the situation. That's why I think that's why the thesis of the song being instigator really falls on that. And on this line, actually, in times of peace, I'll go to war. So they're going to disrupt this peace in quotations and go to war because we need change. And this is how we affect change. Historically through our country and throughout the world, most change, most shifts, whether for the good or for worse, you had to instigate it. It's like the big bad bully. So the bully is a bully. He's taking your lunch money every day. And that might be peace to you because, hey, as long as I got lunch money to give him, he won't beat me up. That might be the peace. But you have to, sometimes you gotta stop the oppressor. You can't wait for the oppressor to stop oppressing you. You can't wait for the bully to stop bullying you. You might have to provoke it. You might have to instigate it at the end of the day, right? So you might have to set up the bully in a vulnerable state for him to think you're going to just hand over that lunch money again. And then when he doesn't see it coming, you knock him right in the chin, you knock him out. So, you got to instigate it. And now that bully don't bully you no more, right? That's all it takes, right? That's all it takes. Now you have you have created real peace now within your own life, mentally and physically. Love that. And that's just off based on principle. But he says steady with it, like a machete with it, heavy with it, shred and kill it. This is pure just phonetic architecture, man. This dude is just a beast with the wordplay, man. He just slices through flows. Like I'm not surprised by anything. He's just establishing a repeating internal pattern though with the ED with it. That's his rhyme scheme. Machete is more than imagery, though. It's symbolic of raw, unrefined force at this point, right? but controlled in this application of how he's using it, right? Because there's a paradox here, right? Aggression delivered with discipline, right? And that's basically what we're listening to. The rhythm itself actually mirrors the slice in motion, so it's clean, repetitive, and intentional, which goes back to the precision aspect, right? Like a surgeon so much, right? But wait a minute, already did it. Oh, that's when Chris came in, right? But wait a minute, I already did it. Webby did it. Welcome to the clinic. I'm a surgeon cutting lyrics. I like this because of the slant rhymes. This is my favorite thing because now he extends that rhyme chain that he did earlier. The did it, Webby did it, the to the clinic, cutting lyrics, all that. So he's bending the phonetics to maintain cohesion within the flows or within the previous bars. And that to me is advanced slant rhyming. That is slant rhyming, right? So in the words that he uses, the verbiage of clinic and surgeons, he's really introducing a somewhat of a conceptual shift. Basically, there's no longer like, This isn't brute force, right? This is actually a surgical execution. So he's thought about this, right? He's thought about this. It's like almost methodical. Like, so basically like a surgeon, because a surgeon, right? A doctor doesn't improvise on a job, right? He doesn't improvise on the spot. He diagnoses, then he cuts with precision. And I think that's what he's saying about his strategy to like take down the forces, or just his strategy on how he makes music. He can mean many things. Like I said, he leaves it open for interpretation, but I feel like this frames his lyricism as methodical, I would say, intentional, almost even clinical in its precision. So yeah, and raising spirits in this mother effer, step to the rhythm, shuffle, treble, then bass. This is a culture. This culture is a breeding ground for my mistakes. I pray for a better way to waste my time. I really enjoy this one because we're coming off of the machete with it, heavy did it, Levy did it, blah blah blah, and he says raising spirits in this mother effer, step to the rhythm. So raising spirits, even step to the rhythm is even a slant rhyme. So basically, what he's doing is he's bringing a new rhyme structure. The new rhyme structure is now what? Treble and bass. So bass, mistakes, take, waste. So this is a pray. So this is the new. So it's an A rhyme structure. So this is the new rhyme structure. He's introducing a new rhyme structure, but before he does that, he smoothly introduces it while bringing in the previous rhyme structure. So that's why he starts it with, and raising spirits in this mother effer, step to the rhythm, shuffle, then treble, then bass. Like, so like he brought in the old rhyme scheme to bring in the new one. That's like heavy. This is why I say he's a high level lyrical guy, and he doesn't get enough props for how lyrical he is. I've seen a lot of lists that were coming out a few months ago where people were like, what are the top 5 UK rappers? Yo, Ren wasn't even on that list. And I saw y'all reactors had these lists, and y'all named a bunch of rappers on there from the UK, and it's like, y'all, I'm not even gonna get into it, but people claim they love Ren, the reactors. Oh, Ren, yo, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT. And then when you go make a list, you expose yourself. Like, Ren's not even on top 5. First of all, Ren's the best rapper from the UK. Like, sorry. Like, the only person who I like compare him to when it comes to like rhyme structures and slant rhymes, literally is Eminem, and Eminem is the GOAT. Y'all know that. But Ren is literally like, no one raps better than him over there. He's so creative, it's insane. It's because he has so many skills, people try to discount him and put him in a box. It's crazy that you can have so many skills and they will still put you in a box. They'll put you in the box of everything, a jack of all trades, as if he's not a master of each of every one of them, right? So I don't know. Anyways, that's just my little rant. But I like that, man. Raising spirits. So this is where the writing, I feel like, in his verse actually deepens at this point. It still phonetically ties back to the early rhyme schemes, right? Like I just mentioned, the steady wit and all that. But I really feel like he expands the meaning. That's the important thing about this. So spirits, I feel like, can be interpreted as like maybe musically, right? Like lifting energy, lifting your spirits. People say stuff like that all the time. Or even essentially just like raising morale, like, you know what I'm saying, raising your morale. So there's many ways to look at it. But this culture is a breeding ground for my mistakes. A lot of self-awareness going on here. This is like he's acknowledging that the very environment, I guess, that fuels his artistry also cultivates his flaws. Oh, and that's a duality. I like that. That dualism right there, which is pretty much creation and corruption existing in the same space. That's fire right there. That's fire. And I pray for a better way to waste my time. That's just that's also kind of like paradoxical, because he's suggesting an awareness that time is being spent, but also perhaps squandered even, but he's still searching within it, though. He's still searching within it. He's still searching for the peace within it. And, good luck, brother. Good luck. But don't wait until tomorrow when I take what's mine. Cold, calculated. That's the instigator. Not intimidated. I'm a force of nature. Fate dictates the place where the penny will drop. That's one of my favorite lines right there. Fate dictates where the penny will drop. But there's a tone shift here. The shift is toward the inevitability, right? The inevitability of cold and calculated. This contrast is literally the aggression from earlier. So this isn't impulsive chaos. It's more of like a strategic disruption. This is like a necessary disruption in the system that we all, and I agree with it wholeheartedly, honestly. But the words he uses, right? For a non-intimidated force of nature. So force of nature really just, I feel like it elevates him beyond opposition is what he's trying to say. Nature doesn't negotiate, right? It just imposes itself. So that's why he's saying force of nature. That's why that comes right before. Fate dictates the place where the penny will drop. I love that. That's a philosophical statement. The penny drop, right? The penny drop. It just represents realization, consequence, and just outcome, the end goal, pretty much, right? So he suggested that the outcomes aren't random, is what he's saying, right? Which is the whole nature, right? Force of nature, mother nature. This is all things that are natural, is what he's trying to say. Like but these things that he's talking about, they're not random. They're actually governed by like government order at the end of the day, right? Whether it's faith, casualty, or just divine structure, right? Divine structure, yeah. Heads roll. This is my favorite line though. Heads roll, karma, let the guillotine chop. That's so fire. That is so fire. Excuse me. That's so fire, and it's so layered historically. That's the best line of the song so far. Heads roll, karma, let the guillotine chop. That is so layered. There's a lot of symbolism in that, right? The guillotine, obviously, the guillotine references historical junkies, the French Revolution, right? Because it was a tool at that time, supposed to be as a tool of justice that really just became synonymous within all those countries over there, right? So it was a thing that became normal for mass execution. This is how they handle justice. This is how they handle punishment. But in the song itself, though, it kind of just represents the thin line between justice and vengeance at the same time. So the guillotine, I feel like, rolling into karma, they go hand in hand, right? Because karma introduces a moral framework, right? That's like where you get the morale from, but it's a cause and effect. So that's basically action and consequence, right? Cause and effect. So now you have historical justice with the guillotine reference, and then you have spiritual justice, which is karma, whatever it is that you believe in. Combined, though, it suggests that consequences are not only inevitable, right? Going back to the beginning, they're both symbolic and morale in nature. Historically, what we've always done, and those reasons were for justice. So that's the history, and that's the nature right there. Let's keep it going.
Instigator.
Let's go, Chris.
Meds pop, dread locked in, you could get got. Light a cig with the dead eye for the headshot. Feds watch, we the sickest puppies in the pet shop.
And they ain't fucking with the sick boy and the web drop.
Hell nah, we them whack jobs with the mice fours. Strike first, the attack dogs. We ignite wars, run things from a dark cell. Let the psych ward choke them to death with the mic cord. See, I went to battle in Athens. I spilled the blood of Olympus. Stepped through the ashes of castles and torn asunder. My critics still read me on the hieroglyphics with King Tut as my witness. Then turned and murdered them for witnessing like government business. I don't give a fuck about riches, the power, money, your bitches. There ain't a thing I got in common with the one of you bitches. I just want blood on the fucking blade that I stuck in you bitches. And get a workout shovel in the grave I dug for you bitches.
Yo, Chris bodied that. I gotta run that verse. Yo, Chris bodied that.
Yeah. Instigator. Meds pop, dread locked in, you could get got. Light a cig with the dead eye for the headshot. Feds watch, we the sickest puppies in the pet shop.
And they ain't fucking with the sick boy and the web drop.
Hell nah, we them whack jobs with the mice fours. Strike first, the attack dogs. We ignite wars, run things from a dark cell. Let the psych ward choke them to death with the
mic cord.
See, I went to battle in Athens. I spilled the blood of Olympus. Stepped through the ashes of castles and torn asunder. My
This is
critics
crazy.
still read me on a hieroglyphics with King Tut as my witness. Then
That's
turned
crazy.
and murdered them for witnessing like government business. Don't give a fuck about riches, the power, money, your bitches. There ain't a thing I got in common with the one of you bitches. I just want blood on the fucking blade that I stuck in you bitches. And get a workout shovel in the grave I dug for you bitches. Well,
Sell $1 for a dime. Watch the world collapse. I'm driving across that county line. Once I do, I won't look back. Daylight knocking at my door. Step into the sun in times of peace. I go to war. Instigator. Sweet defeat the sweet.
Hold on, what's happening in the video? I'm bugging.
as my witness, then turned and murdered them for witnessing like government business. Don't give a fuck about riches, the power, money, your bitches. There ain't a thing I got in common with the one of you bitches.
I mean, yeah, this is all connected to like down the road. So that I feel like this whole album is going to be kind of dedicated to this aspect of just being loyal to the roots, staying independent, standing on your foundation, and not selling out for, you know, materialism or just, you know, fantasy world. So it's still on the pocket of down the road. And that's basically like the labels. They don't want to sign a contract, they want to sell their souls, and they're not going to. And Ren's had that backpack the whole time, so I imagine the backpack is probably just the album, right? The album, or what else could it be? I mean, it could be maybe a microphone or something like that, or something that represents their soul. Like maybe a freaking, that'd be cool if he pulled out like a crystal ball out of there or some shit like that. Like something that just represents. I hope he pulls out something really dope out of there, because he's had it the whole time, and now what were they? They were tussling for it, right?
Just want blood on the fucking blade that I stuck in you bitches.
Oh, Ren was about to sign again. Ren was about to sign. He was about to sign it in down the road. And Chris Webby. Now Chris Webby is not Satan this time. Chris Webby is his boy, and he's telling him like, "Nah, we ain't signing this."
And get a workout shovel in
Threw the pen at him.
the grave I dug for you bitches.
Yeah. They're trying to get the bag.
Sell
$1 for a dime. Sell your art for a dime. They're trying to. Yeah. Okay.
Watch the world collapse. I'm driving across that county line. Once I do, I won't look back.
Yo, they better jump this fool. They better jump this fool.
Daylight knocking at my door.
They got them old dudes back there. You want some of this too, old man? Nope. Old man don't want none.
Step into the sun in times of peace.
Let's get it, Red. Let's get it.
Instigator.
Red.
Defeat the sweetest one.
Red, come on, bro. Ren, yo, let Chris Webby fight by himself. That was a big boy, man. Yo, Ren went out sad, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Can Ren fight? Like, this is crazy. First, he was running from Buddy in that last video, not last video, but that video with the Skinner Brothers. I forgot which song it was, but he was knocking up homie's wife, and he had to jump out of the window, and that big boy was chasing him. Yeah, Ren, I don't know, man. Ren was wrestling with him. I was like, man, I don't think Ren could fight, bro.
Times of peace, I'll go. Instigator. Sweet the
He walked right into it. What is this? This is crazy. That's a big boy, man. I hope Chris is okay.
Feed the sweetest wine.
I like this though. Serene.
Pick your poison from the vine.
From the vine.
Win or losing, I don't mind.
Chris getting his ass whooped right now.
I just came to see all of it falling apart, and I watch as it burns. Instigator.
No. Did he shoot him?
Oi.
Chris beating on the elderly. That's wild.
Instigator.
No.
Instigator.
Hey, grab that. Yeah, facts. Grab the money too. Where's the big boy at? Chris put in that work, boy.
Instigator.
Nah.
Come on, man.
Hold on, man. Before we get into it, let's break down his verse. I like Chris' verse, man. I ain't gonna lie. I like Chris' verse a little more. I'm not even gonna front. I feel like he got really. I mean, I'm a historical junkie, and he just made some really cool references. I got to make sure I heard them correctly though. But he had some crazy doubles. I really liked Chris' verse on here. I think Ren really set the tone for the sound, and Ren had a dope verse as well, right? I mean, we spent a lot of time on his verse, but I think Chris really came through. I think he needed to because he only had a verse in this song, so he had to really come through. You know, Ren's on the chorus. Ren did a little bridge at the end just now, so yeah, very necessary when you're a rapper, right? So shout out to Chris though. But he said, "Meds pop, dread locked in, you can get got. Light a cig with the dead eye for the headshot. Fats watch, we the sickest puppy in the pet shop. You ain't with the sick boy in the web drop." That's just hard right there. This section I feel like is so dense and layered with references, dog. It's just so. First of all, dreadlocked, right? So dreadlocked in. So obviously dreads, right? That's a reggae reference. Shout out to Bob Marley in the back. This is so appropriate right now. But the sound, right? The vibe is a very reggae tone vibe. I said reggae tone, not reggaeton. So very tone of reggae, right? So dreadlocked, but also dreadlock operates on multiple levels here, though. Literally dreadlocks. Obviously, we already spoke about that. So that's a nod to the reggae culture, but also dread is what? Dread is like as an intention, right? Of fear of being locked in. That's really like what he's talking about. So given Ren's UK influence, right, especially with the reggae lineage that runs deep over there, this reads as a subtle cultural acknowledgement, but light a cig functions as a double entendre. I like this right here. Light a cig, obviously lighting a cigarette, right? But also he's evoking the ignition of a firearm. A cig, right? A cig, right? With the dead eye implying precision targeting. Back to precision, back to what Ren was. This is what I'm saying, like the very preciseness, right? So he's a precise, like he's somewhat of a hitman, sniper. Ren is more of a precision, operator in a sense, right? So two different themes. So you got the thesis, the theme, and the rhyme schemes. Three different things. Never confused them. But that's dope. I like his the cig. So the cig, the gun, and also the cig, the cigarette. That's fire. I like that. So it's a duality that mirrors a broader theme at the end of the day, right? Everyday actions reframed as violence at the end of the day. So sickest puppies in the pet shop. So they're positioning themselves as anomalies, right? Within a cultured environment that's controlled. They're the anomaly. You know what I'm saying? They're not like everyone else. So they're inside the system, right? But fundamentally, they're incompatible with it. Kind of reminds me of DMX when he did Def Jam poetry back in the day. He's like, I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. And he does a whole poem about what this song is about, destroying the industry and how he won't let it control him. Y'all might want to check that out, DMX, the industry. Check out that poem live. It's a live performance, no beat. It's so good. Then he goes, hell nah, we them whack jobs with the eyes forward, strike first, the attack dogs, we ignite wars. I like that. Eyes forward, ignite wars, strike force, attack dogs, whack jobs. That's off. Run things from a dark cell at the psych ward. I like that. Run things. That's another nod to the reggae culture, just because like those who speak patois, right? Tings is like it's just slang over there. But I like that, man. Because basically what he's doing when he talks about the psych ward imagery, he's really just reframing their position, as in him and Ren, and who they are inside of this independent world, right? They're labeled by the labels unstable. So, but within that confinement, they still control their own narrative, and that's really what this battle is about. Everything's actually about the narrative. You got to control the narrative. So it's not about not being in the game. You got to be in the game, but you got to play the game too, but you can't get played by the game. Attack dogs and ignite wars. I like that. They connect directly to the earlier point that we mentioned. So this is not like passive resistance at this point. This is like the understanding of that oppression rarely ends without provoking it, right? Like we mentioned earlier in Ren's verse. So they're both really parallel to each other. They wrote this together. This is how you know they wrote these albums together, probably side by side, honestly, right? Because historically, if we talk about what he's talking about, right, whether it's revolutions or even civil rights movements and things that's happened in this country, disruption has often been the catalyst for change at the end of the day. So you want change, you gotta push this stuff. You gotta instigate it. You gotta instigate it. He said, "See, I went to battle." This is my favorite. I think this is my favorite few lines of the entire song. of the entire song. He said, I went to battle in Athens. I spilled the blood of Olympus, stepped through the ashes of castles and torn asunder my critics. He said, they'll read me on a hieroglyphics with King Tut as my witness. Oh my God. Dog, that is the most fierce set of bars in this entire song, dog, because now he expands into this like mythological and historical scale, and it's just showing his knowledge. And I'm a bit of a history junkie too, so it shows that he's well read. Like these guys are both very well read. They're intellectuals at the end of the day. But Athens, he mentions Athens. That just invokes like classical Greek, right? So the birthplace of philosophy at the end of the day. And they all ran with being very philosophical as well. But this is the birthplace of philosophy. Greek, man. Philosophy, democracy, and war strategies. It was all learned by the Greek at the end of the day, right? So Olympus, that reference is also Greek. That's like Greek pantheon a little bit, because by spilling their blood, he's saying, metaphorically, obviously, he's saying he's positioning himself, Chris that is, as someone who has conquered even divine oppositions, which is kind of crazy to say, but hieroglyphics, this is my favorite. This is one of my favorite parts, because he says hieroglyphics and King Tut. So the shift to this is like ancient Egypt. Now this is like different kind of meta. It's all relative though. It's all relative to the context, but this is like a different type of history, because he's using it as symbolism at the end of the day, right? As symbolism of legacy and just the inscription of the history itself that we're talking about. So, but hieroglyphics, they were designed to endure, right? So basically what he's saying is, he's implying when he says they'll read me on hieroglyphics, he's literally saying that he will be etched into time itself, never to be forgotten about. That is the impact. And that's what they're talking about as far as being independent artists. They are standing on foundation to make history, that they're going to be impactful. And it's not really to endure or to experience or to even enjoy in this moment. It's to lead the way and create a path for others to follow, to make it easier for the coming generations. And that is the ultimate martyr move. Sacrificing yourself or your own privileges or your own selfish needs for those who are coming after you, whether it's family, kids, or just generations of children, to save something bigger than yourself. Dope. I like it. Also, I don't know if Chris is aware of this, but it's also worth noting. Hieroglyphics is a rap group from back in the day, underground rap group. It's a collective of the Hieroglyphics crew is Homo Sapien, Del the Funky Homo Sapien, and Del the Funky Homo Sapien, and Souls of Mischief or Mischief. I forget. I never listened to them. I just know both my brothers have posters of them all over the walls back in the day. This is like, I'm talking early 90s or whatever. They're like mid 90s, early 90s. No, they're early 90s. They're early 90s, they're like who's around with the hieroglyphics? That would have to be like Brand Nubian. That's that era. Who else? Tribe Called Quest. No, they're a little before Tribe Called Quest, but that's that era of underground hip hop. And if he knows that, which I think he might, because Chris has been rapping for so long. Let me tell you something funny about Chris, right? When I was young, like 15, 16, we were rapping, right? Me and my boys in my neighborhood, we were rapping. We were actually making a lot of noise. We did a few tours. We opened up for a few people, like yeah. So we did some things, right? And we were rapping all over Philadelphia, Connecticut, New York, obviously. We went to Virginia a few times as well, and we were performing. And around this time, at a young age, like 15, 16 years old, Chris Webby was killing the radios. He's our age. Well, I'm like, me and Chris are the same age. So he was killing the radios, and he was really an inspiration. It was an inspiration to us. Like, we was like, wow, there's another young dude on the radio. We want to be on the radio one day. And he's killing it. He was killing freestyles. He was there from the beginning, I believe, of Sway in the Morning when it first started. He was all over the radio. He was on Mad Radio. He was just a young kid, a young, scrawny kid. And I didn't know until recently, until like a few months ago, that Chris Webby is that kid. Because I forgot his name somewhat. I'm just like, I haven't heard from him after that. Because he never he was like the kid he was like Bow Wow in them, right? And I don't mean like skill level. I just mean like he was supposed to be a star. Like we thought he was going to be huge. Like, oh, he's going to be like that next young kid who's just like a big rapper. And it didn't happen. So he went, clearly he went independent. But it's just all beautiful how it all ties in together with today. Like, it's crazy. That's him though, and I didn't know that. So I'm glad to get versed on him again and just being well read on who Chris Webby is these days. But then turned murdered. What he said? Oh, then turned and murdered them for witnessing the government business. He said, oh, like government business, like the way they do things. Okay, dope. He said, don't give a F about riches. He said, I want blood on the effing blades and get a workout from shoveling the grave. That was hard, dog. That was a hard ending. I'm most fascinated by the historical context that he created within the mid-verse, but he definitely tied it all together. He brought it in dope. Like government business, it's just like a pointed critique, really, right, to the government and how they run things. And, you know, he's had a lot of strong opinions, especially on Raw Thoughts 7 and Raw Thoughts, I think 3 or 2. I forgot which one it was. He was getting at all the politicians back in the day. But very interesting because if you think about it, the rejection of, you know, the richest, he says richest, power, and money, right? He's basically reinforcing the fact that it serves as a metaphor, obviously, but it's not literal harm, right? When he's calling for like this type of violence or whatever, it's just like destruction and opposition have to be taken down. And if you want change, we have to attack these things, or we got to heavily critique them. We got to put them on blast. We got to make it a part of the conversation. We got to make it a part of the media conversation, because at the end of the day, these are industry figures that he's talking about, right? Or just at the end of the day, this is just like ideological, like adversaries that we have to defeat. I like that, man. That's pretty dope. But the government business, I'm not like, I know what he means by that, but maybe it's just him referencing like I guess the historical patterns of the government business, right? Or just of silencing witnesses and like whacking people, right? And earlier he said we some whack jobs, you know what I'm saying? Whack jobs. And like I would connect that to his hitman approach, his sniper approach in his verse. So whack jobs, and also, you know, whacking people like the mob used to do. So he could be attaching that, right, to to covering operations and stuff like that, and just institutional control. That could be the like government business. Like, it seems simple, but I just feel like there could be more to that. He could just be like, he's aligning himself, you know, against that system, and pretty much just mirroring its methods, but redirecting it so it's not negative. So it's like he's mirroring the methods of the instigators, of the bullies, right? And he's redirecting that energy. Instead of negative, it becomes something positive, right? Let's finish this video, though.
Yeah, right.
You just swung. If I would have...
Yeah, you would've what? You would've what, huh?
If I would have...
I could see in his eyes, he was scared.
Yeah, terrified.
He was terrified. He's opening the bag. He's opening the bag. How much time we got left? We got 30 seconds. The album, yeah. Impatient Asylum, yeah, the album. Okay. So is the album called Impatient or Impatient Asylum?
Now, this is not a fucking drill.
Hey!
So everybody gather round. It's the greatest show in town.
Oh, that's fire!
And when the voices get too loud, just come on down.
Oh, they need to drop that track ASAP. That's my style right there. That was Chris Webby's voice too. I need to hear that again.
Oh, I still got this.
Yo, that sounded funky. Oh, we partying to that one.
Guards report in now. This is
That's
not
Chris
a
Webby's
fucking
voice.
drill.
So everybody gather round.
Everybody gather around. Sounds very old school. Shout out to Webby, man. He sounds good when he gets on his melody swag.
It's the greatest show in town.
That's fire.
When the voices get too loud, just come on down.
Welcome to the madhouse.
Welcome to the Madhouse. Shout out to Flawed. He put out a track called Madhouse, and it was fire. Yo, this is fire, man. This is fire, man. Y'all make sure y'all check out the next reaction when we drop. I think they're dropping every other Wednesday, so I'm gonna try and be on point. I may not be early enough because I'll be going to work and stuff like that, but we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, man, shout out to Chris Webby and Ren. This is definitely my favorite collab. I did like the Prof collab. I did like the Skinner Brothers as well. But I do believe that Ren and Chris, they go well. Like, they could be a group. Like, they could be a real duo. Like, for real. Like, I'm talking like Red and Method Man. I'm talking about like Royce and freaking Eminem. Like the Jadakiss and Styles P. Like, they're a real duo to me. And I think they should do more. They should, and maybe they will. Maybe they will do more. But they just sound really good together, man. So, anyways, I know this is a little long. I've been getting into the long form content recently. I know it's not going to get a lot of clicks, but at the end of the day, I've saw like older reactions I've done to Ren, and I really felt like I didn't do it enough justice, and I did a disservice to his lyrics and how deep his message was. So I said, so when another creator told me, you're gonna want to take your time with this one, maybe do a case study, because they're aware that I do case studies and stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. Then I'm gonna pull the lyrics up when I do the reaction, as opposed to just listening to it. So yeah, appreciate it, man. I had a lot of fun with this one. I did like the song a lot. I do got Down the Road ahead, but just real quick about Down the Road. I'm doing a retake to Down the Road, so you'll hear that soon. Yeah, look out for that. Look out for that. But we out.
Voices get too loud. Just